Welcome back to Great Minds Think Alike. I'm Gabby.
I'm Nick.
And we are bringing you episode 17, Discipline versus Motivation.
Can't believe it's been 17 already.
The
first 10 we're in the old setup, now we're already 7 in the new one. But yeah, so this topic is like, I don't want to say corny, but it's, everyone knows discipline, motivation, and they're popular words. We want to differentiate the two and what's important.
All right, so let's get into it. Discipline versus motivation. Discipline builds what motivation starts.
Exactly. And with that quote there, kind of what you're saying is you need both, but you can't have a real success in anything without discipline, right?
Yeah.
Because the reason I'm centering it on discipline there, you're right, discipline builds and motivation starts. Everyone's going to get motivated. Yeah. At some point in life for something. We get motivated all the time.
Motivation is important. Like, don't get us wrong, but it's just not what's going to keep you going.
And it comes naturally and it fades naturally.
Yeah.
Discipline, however, doesn't come naturally. It's not an emotion, and that's what we really need to focus on because that's the hardest part of it all.
So let's dive into our business segment.
Yeah. So most entrepreneurs, they start with passion and excitement. They're excited to get their idea going. There's emotions involved there. However, showing up consistently, especially when they're uninspired, that's when the true success happens.
Because you're not always going to want to do your goals. That's just not realistic. But when you show up anyway and you're staying consistent anyway, that's when true success happens.
Exactly. I'd even say, us tonight, we're a little exhausted. It's a Sunday night, but we're like, we have to do this. We have to go out and do it. Yeah. There are days where we're super motivated to do this show and the ideas, and there are some days where it's like we need to put on our discipline caps and just
do it. Yep. Just do it. So in order to do this, we want to talk about identifying your why. Because when the motivation runs out, what is going to keep you going?
Yeah, is there greater purpose you're working on? Is your business to solve a problem? That's the thing. Like maybe your business is to solve an issue with something going on in the world, something you're passionate about. Maybe it's to rescue animals, whatever it is that you're doing. Remember that why so that you can continue to show up on the days that you don't want to because, motivation, it sparks the fire, but discipline keeps the fire burning.
Yeah. Is it your family? Is it you just need to put food on the table? Is it you're just trying to live out your goals and successes and you have this extreme goal and you're like not giving up until you meet that? Like, find your why.
Exactly. And, our why for this show is really to help people.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this before. One thing, obviously, it helps us because it helps us be better people, but there's nothing I like more than when someone says, Nick, Gab, we've been watching your podcast and I've been making changes to my day or you inspired me to do something. Our why on this is to help people.
Yeah.
And, not saying that we know everything or that we've done everything.
No, absolutely
not.
But
we're putting ideas out there that can really help people's lives. And that is our why. So you have to figure out yours.
If you go back to episode 1, that we said that. We said if we just help one person, we've done our job, and we want to continue to spread the word and get that out there, and that's our why.
Yeah, so figure out your why, and that's going to make doing the discipline, the tasks, what keeps businesses going, it's going to make it a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
So motivation is emotional. It's driven by inspiration. It helps kickstart any good ideas, but like all emotions, they go up, down, they fade, they come and go.
Yeah.
Success requires the work when the emotions fade, when the passion gets dull. The success comes when you're still showing up and still doing all the little things, even when those go away.
Yeah, and it's in the routine. Once you've identified your why, release that and figure out your how, because that's what you need to focus on every single day. The consistency is in your process. Focus on your process.
Yep, exactly. And one thing I want to mention, that people who succeed with their ideas versus people who fail, the ones that succeed, it's not by doing anything crazy. You always think, oh, what did they do to succeed? There's nothing, super hard. There's no secret to the success, right? It is simply by showing up every day and doing the little things consistently, is that the successful person shows up and is disciplined to do what they have to do, even when they don't want to. That's the secret.
That's the most important part, is doing it when you don't want to. That sets you apart from so many other people, because it is natural to want to give up, but the people who don't, they're the ones that are going to be successful in this world.
Yep, exactly. You see a successful business, and a lot of times it may not have been successful in the first 5 years, or even more, where it's just getting by, and then all of a sudden, because they stuck to it, they succeeded.
Yeah. So once you've identified your why, then we're going to get into your how. And that's what you need to focus on day to day. Those are your habits that you create, and those are your processes that you will be focusing on. So with that being said, let's dive into our lifestyle so we can talk about the habits to be disciplined.
No, I agree, because your why is what gets you into it, right? The why is what sparked that motivation in the first place, but the how, these little habits that we're going to discuss, that's discipline, and that's what keeps the ship running. So, motivation is a feeling, like we said, discipline is a habit.
Yeah, because motivation is not sustainable. You're never going to always want to do things. You're going to have bad days, and again, showing up on your bad days is what sets you apart.
No, nobody stays motivated. You always get burnt out. I love that you said it's not sustainable. That's like one of our favorite words.
Yeah.
It's not. Discipline is. Motivation is not sustainable.
So again, focus on the process, not the results. The process is the how and your tracking methods and how you are going to get the results.
Exactly.
You got to break it down.
The results may motivate you temporarily, but the process is, and the discipline is how you're going to stay there.
Yeah, because it's not about these immediate wins. It's about long-term success.
Yeah, so part of this, you need to create a habitual routine. You need daily habits. Like some examples, waking up at a certain time and time blocking for the business you want, creating content, maybe recording videos, calls, outreach, depending on what kind of business it is, marketing. You need to set up these non-negotiable small things that you're going to do every day.
The key is small because it's going to be consistency over intensity. You don't want to aim too high with your daily tasks because that's going to create a feeling of not wanting to do it even more.
Exactly. It's extremely hard to stay disciplined if the task is too difficult.
Again, not sustainable.
Yeah. However, if you say, okay, few calls every day, few outreaches, few everything, and I'm going to gradually over 365 days this year build this with small steps every day, that's where you're actually able to be disciplined and setting yourself up for success.
And get used to your tasks starting to feel boring. That's when you know you're on the brink of success, because when things get mundane, that means you've created a routine. That means you've created consistent habits. And the most important thing is don't give up when it gets boring. The golden ticket is in the mundane.
No, seriously, when it's starting to get boring like this again, that's when you know the system's working, because the motivation's gone, your emotions went down, yet you're still doing the tasks, and that's when the results come from.
Some tasks are going to be automatic and you just do it. And that's honestly what we're looking for here. Just do it. Don't even think about it. It's like brushing your teeth every single day.
Yeah, exactly. You know you have to do it. And these automatic tasks, it keeps the ship moving when the emotions are gone, when the motivation is low. Building these discipline, keep doing things, even with like going to the gym or eating healthy or cooking, by doing all the little things you say, it helps you push through the bad days. You're not relying on your motivation and energy.
And when things get boring, it is so important not to quit, because that's when people think that they're not happy or, I'm not really loving this as much as I thought I would. No, it's just that you've created the mundane. And as long as you're consistent and you stick right through that, then you're going to see success. It's inevitable. But if you go on to the next thing before you even gave yourself the opportunity to get to the finish line, you're not going to succeed.
Nothing's going to be fun all of the time.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to be exciting all the time, whether it's in business or something else in your life. Anything worth obtaining is going to suck at certain points, and the discipline will drive you through that. You need to become someone who does it.
Yeah.
So I say, I do this, right? Like, you don't say, I'm trying to do this, or I'm trying to time block, or we're trying to do it. No, we do a podcast.
Yeah.
We time block. We have this set. We're running a business.
And I have a really good example from Atomic Habits with this. So I'm reading Atomic Habits, not sure the chapter, but he essentially
Love that book.
Yeah, he essentially says if you're trying to quit smoking, you're out and someone offers you a cigarette. You could say, no, I'm trying to quit smoking. But instead, if you say, no, I'm not a smoker, do you hear the difference of powers in those two statements?
It's so much different. It's subconscious, because one, you're saying you're trying to do something. Just, maybe I'm quitting. I don't know. I'm trying. But when you say, no, I'm not a smoker, I quit, It's like you're affirming to yourself that, and it's the same thing with discipline. Like I go to the gym every day. I don't try to go to the gym 5 days a week, right? I go to the gym 5 days a week. I'm running a business. It's a Sunday night. We want to be relaxing, hanging out. No, I run a business that requires my Sunday nights.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of what you have to do.
Honestly, taking the word trying out of your vocabulary might be a good idea. I've also been trying to do that as I say that.
No, but you've done it.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously easier said than done, but it's one of those things, it's a mindset shift. You got to take that word trying out of it. You are becoming your best self.
Yep, and you are disciplined.
Like you said, we're doing this. We're business owners. We're podcast hosts. My stomach hurts. Like, I don't want to do this right now. Also, hot girls have stomach issues.
But discipline got us to create this and got us in the studio tonight despite.
So motivation gets you started, but discipline gets you to create that life that you're proud of.
Exactly. You need both. Motivation will spark the fire, but discipline is the fuel that keeps it burning, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So let's transition over to our real estate segment, because this is very prevalent in real estate. Now, we're saying whether you are someone who works in real estate or someone looking to purchase real estate, whether it's just for your personal use or as an investor, these principles apply.
Yeah. So success in real estate is a marathon, not a sprint.
Oh, yeah. So motivation, it can get you in the door, right? Meaning you may be exciting to get your first deal or your first home. You know, you may say, I want to buy. Like, people get the idea to purchase their first house through motivation. They get excited. There's emotions. They're like, I want to buy a house. I want to buy whatever. Great. That's the motivation that sparks it. But then the discipline part is reaching out to a loan officer and a realtor, figuring out what you need to do to get in a position to buy, and actively spending the time each day doing what you need to do to get there. So the discipline is actually what gets the keys in your hand, where the motivation is what sparks the idea.
Yeah. Whether you're a realtor yourself or you're purchasing or you're going to look to sell, you are going to need to be in this for the long-term gain.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I would mention, obviously, I'm a loan officer. I help get the mortgages, but I do way more than just fund the loan, especially with first-time buyers. And I'm bringing this up because of this motivation versus discipline. I get calls every day with buyers that are motivated. They're emotional. They're happy. They want a house. The ones that I actually end up hugging at the closing table, they're the ones who sit down with me. I say, okay, well, we need to save this amount per month. We need to get ready for this. We need to pay off this debt. It's the ones who take our advice and act on it every day in a disciplined way. And it's not always in a month or two. Some people take a year or two. But the ones that actually have discipline and do what they need to do and follow the instructions, they're the ones that get the keys. And I promise you, they're not happy to do it every day. Right? They may have to give up some dinners, some shopping, some nights out, but they get there through discipline.
Because you're the truth serum a lot of the time.
Yeah, I say that a lot.
Yeah, you're the truth serum. And that just means, you know, yes, I'm the one that's showing them the nice houses. I give them like the hope, and you give them, oh, this is what we can actually afford.
I'm reality. Because people look on Zillow, they'll be looking with you, and that can spark motivation to see the nice houses. But I'm the truth serum. Where it comes to me, I'm like, okay, here's your situation. Here's your goals. We got to figure out how to bridge this gap. And trust me, people that are disciplined bridge the gap and get their goals. People who are only motivated, that's when it dies out. They don't actually do it, and they end up settling or not purchasing at all.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And I'm appreciative for loan officers like you who actually give people financial advice and prepare them to be ready to purchase a home.
Thank you. It tries to make your job easier. And
it makes my job so much easier. You have no idea.
It makes their life easier because they know when everything's scary until you have a plan. Everything's nerve-wracking until you have a goal. But when you break it down and you have a plan and you have the discipline to execute it, there's nothing you can't accomplish. In real estate and life. Just plain fact.
Yeah. So I just want to talk about a little bit of what I do day to day as a realtor, because the reality of lead generation, it can suck sometimes. Cold calls suck. No, like, I'm getting cursed out.
Yeah, what did that one guy say to you the other day?
I had to hang up on him. He's like, I'm going to tell you something about you realtors. Every curse word in the book he said to me, and I was like, yeah, you know what, next caller. And then you still continue to show up, though, because there is the off chance that you do meet a seller. You do meet someone who's looking to purchase. That's what we do this all for. You can get 10 no's, but you have to show up consistently to receive the one yes.
Motivation gets you to start making those calls. Discipline is what gets you to continue to do it even when you get cursed out.
Yeah, I don't want to do that every day. I
It's the
definitely
discipline
don't.
that does.
So I created a routine. I cold call for about 5 hours per week. That's really not that much. It's 1 hour per each weekday because I'm still networking at other times. I'm still reaching out to my sphere. But for cold calling 5 hours per week, and I know there's a ton of people who are doing more than me. I know there's a ton of people who are doing way less than me too.
Just stick to your process.
Yes, I stick to
that
my
add up.
process and it's attainable for me, and I have been seeing some numbers and results from that.
An hour a day may not seem like a lot, but now let's go through the whole year. Now all of a sudden it's days worth of calls.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when you do that, it's small. Maybe I'll build it up. But since I recently created this routine, you don't want to over intensify it.
Exactly.
Because I'm never going to want to do it. I already don't want to do it.
Yeah,
So
then you're not going to make the calls.
And plus, you know, we're all ADHD cuspers, right? So I'm like, if I'm just sitting there for an hour and then I do my thing and that's it, it's really not that painful.
Yeah, so I mean, really, it's the action and the consistency that gets the results. And I want to touch base on, I know we talked about working in the real estate business with this, buying a first home. I even want to talk about investors because I am so freaking tired of all of these clickbait reels that I'm seeing online with guys like, I make $400K a month, and what I do is I buy Airbnb, and then I do this, and I'm a real estate investor, and now I'm in Cancun and making money. It's bullshit, right? Because even if you are an investor and you have properties, real estate is not passive. That's one of the biggest things.
It's not passive because
income.
you have to tend to your tenants. You have to, if they have a problem, you have to fix it. You have to supply anything that breaks down. You have to cough up that money. So be prepared to do that.
Yeah. So let's just say you're someone where you see one of these reels and you want to be an Airbnb owner and own multiple houses for that passive income. First of all, you have to deal with the people renting it, and you may hire a company that helps rent it. There's cleaners, but you still have to manage people that are managing your property. So that's one. In order to make enough money, you're going to want to scale it. You have to actively be networking and prospecting new properties. You need to stay in touch with the rent in the area. You need to stay in touch with things, upgrades on the houses. So whether you are keeping the same amount of houses you have or you're looking to acquire it, with these real estate investors, I guarantee you the successful ones have disciplined habits where every single day they're spending a certain time market research, networking, and dealing with their current properties, looking for new ones. So don't listen to these people online saying it's all passive income.
Yeah.
Even if you want to be a real estate investor, it is constant work, which is not hard if you break it down into little habitual things you do every day.
Yeah,
I just want to debunk that shit I see online.
It's definitely not hard, but finding the right people can be tough sometimes.
Exactly.
So, like some people look good on paper, but then you see their true colors after a couple months of renting. Squatter laws in New Jersey, don't even get me started on those. You have to take all these possibilities into consideration if you're looking to invest.
Exactly. So motivation may make you become an investor. You may see those videos and get motivated from them and say, hey, I want a few properties. But discipline is what's going to actually allow you to purchase the properties, manage them, and stay up to date on everything. It's not passive.
Motivation gets you your first property, but discipline gets you your portfolio.
I love that. Yeah.
So with all that being said, I mean, you have to keep the discipline with real estate because motivation is not enough. Deals can die. Cold calls suck. You may have bad tenants. There's so many things that can go wrong, and each situation looks different. But you just got to stay disciplined, and you have so much power to be successful in this industry.
Exactly. And it comes with real estate, with business, with lifestyle. The motivation gets the boulder moving. The discipline keeps it going down the hill. Really how it is.
Yeah.
We made 1,000 different little lines here.
Yeah. Well, success, and I'll leave you with this one-liner. Success isn't about being inspired all the time. Success is about staying committed.
Yep.
Even when you don't want to.
Exactly.
And with that, we'll see you guys next week.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Have a good one.